Alright, so before we actually start this really, really quick, I'm going to try to give you guys a quick little, I guess, recap or summary, because after the last part, I actually went ahead just to make sure my memory was fresh on it. I actually pulled up the Aftermath movie I talked about and watched it to refresh my memory on what happened in that and why it's as Yzma says, this is kind of important. So, to be more specific, the Aftermath is supposed to have taken place sometime, a few weeks, I believe they say in the film, after the events of the first game. Basically, we follow the story of 4 individuals. So the movie actually starts off with a team, no doubt working for EarthGov and the overseers and unitologists, that come across a ship called the USG O'Bannon, I believe it's called. And they go in and they find what looks to be the aftermath of a necromorph attack. And then they find out there's 4 living people left on the ship. They're all in the engine room. And they had just done something. And you can tell something's off with at least a couple of them. And they detain them and take them aboard a ship with what you can tell are very clearly people. Like, even the security guys are like, what the heck is going on here? And then we see some people that are interrogators working for EarthGov and the overseers and all that stuff, basically saying, look, you need to find out what they know or else before you reach your destination, which is, I believe, where this game is going to be taking place. And we then have... It's a very interesting way to tell the story where... And the art style is interesting because they have one art style for each different, story being told. We have the one art style that's taking place in the present, and then we have a different art style every time somebody different is getting interrogated. And also, can I just say, the interrogation technology and methods, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Basically, utilizing what is a form of technology that allows them to bring forth your rational and irrational fears to light to make it seem as if you are, one of them was... He's like, oh, I see that your rational fear is being burned alive. So they induce a hallucination in his mind where he starts, his body goes on fire and he thinks he's being burned alive, but he's actually not. His mind just thinks he is. It's kind of like how in The Matrix, it's like, your mind makes it real. But yeah, they do that to force them to cooperate and answer the questions. So basically what we find out through the story of each one is that the crew of the ship, the USG O'Bannon, is directed to... it turns out Aegis 7 wasn't destroyed, it's just on the verge of being destroyed. They are there arriving at Aegis 7 a few weeks after the ending of the first game, where they're like, yeah, some guy named Clark dropped a continent on the thing. So, acknowledging what Isaac did. And basically, the planet is about, because it had that happen, it hasn't been destroyed, but it's about to be. It's basically, on the verge of exploding. So, of course, they apparently, the higher-ups, apparently through scanning technology, detected what seemed to be remnants, remaining little shards, little pieces scattered around Aegis 7 of the red marker. And, of course, they want the marker. They will go to absurd lengths to get what remains of the marker, of course, believing it to be, of course, the great, as we find out, it was actually man-made, but they don't know that. But yeah, I just continue this. I'm just like, man, it's absurd what they go through for this thing. And of course, we see horrible, grisly, gruesome deaths. Again, just like in the other movie, they don't hold back on the gore and the horrible ways people die in this. Because there are some way people die in this that are just, ooh, wow. So that's a little cautionary thing I'm throwing out there for anyone who wants to check this movie out. But they find just one little shard, that would fit in the palm of your hand. Just one little tiny shard remaining of that red marker from the first game. And this immediately causes, whispering and causes, this guy to hallucinate that his dead daughter is right there, who had just died a few weeks ago. And, of course, starts the chain effect, the domino effect of things going wrong. Aegis 7 does... They're not able to stop it from exploding or stabilize the gravity, whatever. It ends up exploding, and it causes, of course, damage to the main ship. They are able to save the shard despite several people dying in the process, and get the shard aboard the ship. And they're trying to do what they can to, save the ship and get themselves out of there. But there's this doctor by the name of Nolan Strauss who was recruited by the higher-ups to secretly be the one to do research on the shard of the marker, if any were recovered, which was the entire plan, to recover shards of the marker, to be able to get access to it, to gain access to the language of the marker and the higher-ups, the aliens that create, all that stuff, that Unitology believes in, all that. He was the one assigned to uncover all that. So he's doing research. He sees all the markings and everything. And it, of course, messes with his head, just like it does with pretty much everybody on the ship. There's also this other part of the story where the doctor is having an affair with another doctor, while the guy brought his wife and baby son on the ship, because apparently the wife knew about the affair and basically demanded to be on the trip to keep an eye on, to, try and, find out or even expose the affair with the other doctor. And, that's that's going on there. But what Strauss, of course, does is he learns about the way the marker interacts with dead tissue, causing it to reanimate, and, of course, necromorphs. And, of course, lo and behold, because they had some people die, there's some dead tissue that he can be able to use. And he actually goes into the morgue and gets a body as an experiment, which, of course, leads to the necromorph outbreak and it having an effect on all the dead tissue on the ship. And before you know it, necromorphs are running wild aboard the ship. Thanks, Strauss. And then here's the really messed up part when it comes to Strauss. Obviously, we're also following the story of a couple of other people, but he's the main focus here because he's actually in this game. He's the character we will get to actually see. Sorry for spoiling that ahead of time, but it's kind of important to know because they do really good setup here based on what you're going to see here, because we're going to see characters from this movie in this game. But Strauss goes to his room where his family is, his wife and child, trying to hopefully protect them from the necromorphs. But because the marker has already affected him, instead of seeing his family, he sees them as necromorphs as well. So what does he do? This is the really horrible, messed up part. He kills them. Yes, he kills his wife and he kills his baby son, thinking they were necromorphs. And here's the interesting part. He cannot bring himself to remember that. And the interrogator even tries to really get him to accept it, and he refuses to remember it. And the doctor's like, remarkable, I've never seen such a complete block of memory like from this. And he even turns up the voltage, trying to torture him, to try and force him to acknowledge and remember that he killed his wife and child. But even Strauss says, you cannot make me remember, I won't remember. And it's just he's just that's fascinating, And of the four people, I mean, the guy who picked up the shard and thought his daughter was there, the apparition gets him to go out the airlock and kill himself. The engineer guy, whose cousin got killed by this security guy, he gets killed because he didn't come into contact with the marker. Therefore, he has no value. So, he didn't come in contact with the marker. Execute him. Is basically what happens, though they don't actually say that. They just are yeah, you were free to go. And then they shoot him in the back of the head when he's like, hey, I get to go. And then he's just dead. It's a really cold and ruthless way they do it. So they preserve Strauss because he got into contact with the marker, and they're like, your mind holds the key to us unraveling and learning the language of the marker and all that stuff, And then the unfortunate part, of course, is the woman Strauss had an affair with, a doctor named Isabella Cho. And they get her to talk about the affair and how she actually, like, it had been going on for several months and she had fallen in love with him, and he even offered to leave his wife for her, but she didn't want that to happen. I'm like, yeah, you just, like, she just had a bit more, like, I'm glad Isabel was like, look, I'm not going to have you leave your wife who just had your baby child. That's messed up, Strauss. But, affairs, I guess, affect and mess with people in ways where they just start thinking about stuff like that without really, thinking straight or rationally or whatever the case may be. And, of course, Cho starts to see everything that's happening on the ship, all the necromorphs and everything starting to happen. She walks in right after Strauss kills his family and sees the bodies of his wife and child there, and just sees. Strauss, of course, does not know what he's just done. He thinks he just destroyed some monsters, and he's insistent that his family is, like, locked up in their quarters and that they're safe. But Cho saw what he did, and, like, it completely changes her perspective. She doesn't fully understand what's going on at the moment. She just thinks he's someone who just murdered his family. It's not until later that she gets confronted by the overseers and such. This is later on after she basically finishes recapping the events, where even the captain of the ship was kind of awesome, because even he is the one who, by the end, is willing to make sure an airlock closes to not kill everybody else, knowing that if he does, he gets locked in a room full of necromorphs. So what does he do after he locks the room? He grabs a grenade and he, like, dives into the middle of a whole bunch of necromorphs and lights it up to make sure he takes a bunch of them with him. Awesome. That's an awesome way to go. So the captain of that ship was awesome. Even though the marker did start to affect him. He wasn't actually involved like the captain of the Ishimura was. He was someone who was just kind of like, why are we here? Like, it was even classified to him. But he wasn't happy about it. But he was still awesome. So, they reach the destination, which I believe is where we are now, Titan Station on Saturn, though I think they also reached another place called the Sprawl, where they were going to continue their research into both Strauss and Isaac, because it's revealed they also have Isaac, because they say, oh yes, we found him half crazed on some empty shuttle. So, but the unfortunate part for Cho is that the Overseer, he comes in as the interrogator is finished interrogating Cho. And by the way, they go ahead and kill the interrogator after they take Cho out, because even though he did a great job, we cannot have leaks about this getting out, so we have to eliminate any witnesses, of course. So, after they're like, yes, you'll be appropriately rewarded, bam, right in the face, right in the back of the head. So the Overseer actually tries to convince Cho to join their side, to, like, be a part of the project and what's going on, that she could be the eventual head of the entire medical sciences division, probably of the part of the government that the unitologists are controlling, as we learned in the previous game, and we'll get more. We're going to get definitely more lore about the unitologists and stuff, and their massive control of everything, how involved they are, and how much of a connection they have in basically everything in this game as well. But Strauss, Cho saw what the marker does, and she's just like, I'm not going to be involved in this. This is insane. You're also trying to play God here. This is at the expense of killing thousands, if not millions, of people just because you think this is, like, all a means to an end. This is insane. So they're like, well, it's unfortunate you feel that way. So they, of course, restrain her, and they basically, like, they then do this thing where they show a drill going in her head, because apparently they just completely, like, destroy her as a person. They get her to do a quote-unquote willing confession that she was the one who committed these terrorist attacks on both Aegis 7, as well as the Ishimura and the Oban. They basically make her the scapegoat for everything so that she can be the cover story, because they need a cover story to make sure that, this doesn't get out to the public. We can't have the public know about what's going on with the necromorphs and the markers. Oh, no. We can't have that get out to the public. We got to make sure this is all covered up. So, yeah, the movie basically ends with the Overseer and this doctor who is basically going to be the one working on getting more information from the likes of Strauss as well as Isaac on Titan Station, and it's revealed that both Strauss and Isaac, that's the last thing to show, is that Isaac is there basically in kind of a coffin in a, I guess, a cryo chamber where they're keeping them in cryo sleep, trying to, one, prevent the marker effect from degrading their minds, because they want to preserve it as much as they can while they're interrogating them. And so yeah, that's why 3 years have gone by since the events of the first game till now. And that is where we are going to be joining in. Also, really quick, to explain what's going to happen at the very beginning. So then we have the other game, Ignition, which came out for the PlayStation. Ignition had a couple of people, they're looking for Isaac. Now, it doesn't say why, they don't explain why, but they are looking for Isaac. And they are trying to, as another possible necromorph outbreak is happening on this station, this Titan station on Saturn's largest moon. And they are trying to find where Isaac is being held and contained in this facility. Basically, it's like an insane asylum, in a manner of speaking. And these two people are trying to find him. And one of them, who I think is a hacker, is able to find his way to Isaac. And that's part of why the conduit rooms are part of the reward in this game, if you did that. So that's basically the quick summarization and recap of both the Aftermath movie and Ignition, which is a very important setup for what we are about to experience in this game. So, without further ado, I'm actually very tempted to... So... yeah, you know what? We're going to go with normal. And the reason why is probably because I have a way to make this game even easier for myself, mainly with the save editor, and I may kind of somewhat ruin some aspects of this game, but by doing so, I'll kind of like do it based on my own discretion, not too much, but let's just say there's also some other stuff. I'll talk about some of the gameplay changes that they decided to do with this compared to the first one, but yeah, if I go ahead and do that, please don't be mad. Okay, I do want this to be a smooth experience in terms of like showing. This is not a, hey, let's see if I can do well under the harshest circumstances. This is me just trying to showcase the game and just kind of showcase the gameplay and the story, but not in a way that it won't hinder the progression and me being able to... There's only one part of this game that I think could be an issue. And it's actually a part that really, bothers me. But it's only because it has nothing to do with shooting necromorphs. It's just simply about timing and a steady hand. But we'll get there when we get there. In the meantime, let's just go ahead and start this up. We'll go ahead and do this on normal. I have the means to make this even easier on myself if I want to. But yeah, hey, if you guys want me to, I did the New Game Plus around the first game on normal. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do it.
Isaac, are you there? Come in, Isaac. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Look at the time difference. I'll call you back later.
It's okay. How you doing?
Good. You're right, Isaac. The Ishimar is a great ship. I am so lucky to be serving aboard her.
Enjoy it while it lasts. You know they're going to decommission her next year.
Isaac, thank you.
For what?
For just pushing me to do this. I mean, if it weren't for you, I never would have made it this far, because you made me stick with it.
I'll just remember, I'm giving you up for 6 months so you can do this.
You know what? We must be getting on a range third leg. Isaac? Isaac, can you hear me? Look, I'm going to call you back as soon as I can, okay?
Isaac! Isaac! You were drifting away for a moment there, Mr. Clark. I believe you were telling me about your nightmares that you've been having. About your dead girlfriend. What was her name?
Nicole.
I didn't want it to end like this. I really wanted to see you again. Just once. I loved you. I always loved you.
Yes. Nicole Brennan. She was a senior medical officer stationed aboard a Planet Cracker-class vessel.
Ishimura.
USG Ishimura, yes. Part of a mining operation on Aegis 7. I understand communications went down shortly after their arrival. You were part of the repair mission. A mission for which you volunteered, am I right? What did you find aboard that ship, Isaac?
I found something.
What did they find aboard the ship, Isaac?
The marker.
Did you have contact with this marker? It made you see things, didn't it? Things you didn't want to see.
It spoke to me.
And what did it say, Isaac? What did it say to you, Isaac? Isaac, can you hear me?
Okay, really quick, I just want to say that doctor, if you saw the name tag, Dr. Edgars Foster, that's the doctor at the very end of the movie I was just talking about that was put in charge of running this whole thing. Just right off the bat, if you see the movie, you'll recognize the character. Now, here is the character I was talking about from Ignition, who's been looking for Isaac, and he finally finds him.
Isaac, can you hear me? Dana, I found Isaac Clark. Repeat, I have him.
Great work, Franco. Be careful. He's been out a long time.
Oh, by the way, really quick, just once again, a little warning for anybody watching. If you have a bit of an uneasy stomach or if you don't like gore, you may want to stop watching right now because you're about to see, well, let's just say you're about to see some of the Necromorphs' handiwork at its finest here.
Okay. Good. Steady. We gotta get you out of this straitjacket. Where am I? Alright, I know you're confused right now. I can explain everything, but you gotta trust me, okay? Listen, you're in terrible danger.
Franco, what happened? Oh, God. Isaac, if you can hear me, run!
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh. No. Oh, gosh. I have had about enough of you! Didn't do enough kicks there to really get the reference. To make the reference more authentic, anyway. Talk about a start, huh? Right off the bat, we are up and running, literally. Oh, my goodness. Chapter 1. Just immediately off and running compared to the first game. We were like, what happened here? No, this is just, they are here, run! Just, we are going. Ignore, this was me doing a test run for, just in preparation for this playthrough. So, just gonna go ahead and overwrite that. If I recall, there is no Easter egg amongst the first letters of each chapter in this one compared to the first one.
Car, take him down!
Well. So this is Isaac. So compared to the first game where we barely got to see his face, we finally get to see his face here. Also, you probably noticed, as I said, he has a voice now! Yeah, this is when Gunnar Wright became the official voice actor for Isaac Clarke, and can I just say, 2 thumbs up. I really enjoy his voice acting as Isaac Clarke in the 3 games that he has done. Oh, lovely. Just lovely.
This is Director Tideman to all project personnel. I want the key subjects terminated and the facility scrubbed. This is not a drill. Tideman out.
Oh, this Tideman definitely sounds like he's definitely one of those guys who works for EarthGov and such, and the Overseers, huh? Alright, I just want all of the subjects terminated. Terminate them all. We're just clean this whole thing. Observation room. Authorized personnel.
Ross, Section 158. Now.
Strauss.
My eye's looking much better today, yes? Don't you think?
It hurts. It still hurts?
Yes, I'll schedule you for another session tomorrow.
No, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I can take another session.
There. First thing tomorrow. Now let's talk about what you saw today. Come on, Strauss. I'm here to help you.
It was black. Deep black and glowing red with symbols. Symbols whispered to me. And what did the symbols whisper to you? Come on, Strauss, what? It was just sharp. It was just sharp, but I put so much stuff in my head, so much shit in my head. There's no more room for anything. I can't remember what he looks like. I can't remember what he...
The symbols, Strauss. What did the symbols tell you?
They told me that it wasn't my fault. I didn't kill him. They didn't deserve this, and I didn't deserve this. Fucker.
Put Mr. Strauss back in stasis, adjust his medication up 30 milligrams, and we'll try another session first thing in the morning. Subject is Nolan Strauss, Section 158.
Well, now that looks interesting.
Now.
I don't think there's anything else here in terms of like a little nod to the movie. Like,
My eyes looking...
as I said, the other 3, also whoever that was didn't make it.
Yes, I'll schedule you for another session tomorrow.
So yeah, the other 3 survivors of the
Tomorrow. Now let's talk about what you saw today.
that picture is purposely blurry,
I'm here.
and that text is also blurry.
It was black.
Well, there's Strauss right there.
Deep black and glowing red with symbols.
But just as a reminder, yeah, he was the only one that actually survived the events. Hold on, what's it say?
The symbols whispered to you.
Well, that one's dead down there.
What? It was just sharp. It was just sharp, but I put so much stuff in my head, so much...
Now, do you want to see?
I can't remember what he looks like. I can't remember.
The symbol, Strauss.
Oh, there's the marker.
They told me that it wasn't my fault. I didn't kill him. They didn't deserve this, and I didn't deserve this. Fucker.
Put Mr. Strauss back in stasis, adjust his medication up 30 milligrams, and we'll try another session first thing in the morning.
Director Tideman to all project personnel.
You know, I saw that locked door, and you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to push the M button. And the reason why is because in the remake, they let you look at the map of the area so you can see the rooms that you've either gone to or haven't. And I've been getting so spoiled with that in the remake that I'm realizing, oh wait, that's not a thing here. I can't do that in these. I can't be able to actually like look at what rooms I have or haven't gone to, but unlike in the remake, you can't actually go back and like, you know, explore places you haven't been to before. It's linear. So there's Dr. Edgar's with a knife carving symbols and laughing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this doctor has also lost it. Excuse me, Dr. Edgar's?
Come on, man.
Patient 4, I remember you. Tideman said all the key subjects need to be eliminated, terminated. Which one more?
Listen to me, man.
Will it matter?
Listen to me! We can both get out of here. Just cut me out of this straitjacket.
No one's getting out of here alive.
Don't do it.
There's no escaping from what I've done.
Take it easy, buddy. Just take it easy.
Your rig is red. It's red. There's a health pack and a flashlight in that wall locker. You should grab them. Go ahead. Take it.
Sure.
Anymore.
You won't? Little heads up. For those of you who don't like seeing like suicide depictions and such on camera, you may want to turn away in the next few moments.
Isaac, we're all gonna burn for what we did to you.
Oh gosh.
Clark! Isaac Clark, is that you?
Who are you?
My name is Dana. I'm the one trying to rescue you.
Why? What's going on?
You're suffering from a unique form of dementia, Isaac. Something you contracted on Aegis 7.
How do you know that? How do you know all this about me?
Your dementia will kill you. But if you can get here, I can treat you and get you to safety.
Why should I trust you?
Because I'm not the one shooting at you.
Fuck.
Just follow the route I'm sending you.
Well, we don't really have any other options at the moment, so... we'll go along with this for now. Also, I love this little motion that he does when you strafe back and forth. The way he sways his shoulders. I'm sorry. Okay, so you see those arrows? I'm holding down the B button now. I want you to... Now, if I press the up and... or, I guess, in this case, the W and S keys. Save station. Bench. Store. Objective. I started instinctively trying to do that in the remake, and I realized I couldn't. But keep in mind, I don't necessarily have to in the remake because we can look at the map. But it was just kind of like, oh yeah, I want to... I saw that. Also, you'll notice the stomp is much more... emphatic this time around. Yeah, lots of dead body. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment to test out my mouse sensitivity. I think it's fine for the time being. Jump scare coming up, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm kind of spoiling certain things, like doing that, and kind of like ruining for you guys, but
Orderly TPS report 1418. The recent realization that the popsicle sticks were being constructed into marker-like miniatures for over a year has led to a search of the unit for any other such phenomena. It appears widespread, with marker forms being made out of medication bottles, hypodermic needles, and even toiletry items like nail clippers and tweezers. The research teams have all been notified of the discovery.
anything related to the marker is something they have to pay attention to. Well, it appears that Isaac has to try and make it out of this place alive. We'll be doing that when we come back. Stay tuned.